Hey, YouTube, man, this is JP the Creator. I'm here with my co-host, Ben the Awesome Newsom, man, and this is Aaron Beaugard, our guest today. This is episode 25. Um, Aaron, I used to be on a team with Aaron, the Dukeville Tigers, and it's in San Antonio. And Aaron was a football star at a school in San Antonio, high school. Brennan, right?
Brennan.
And he had got in a motorcycle accident and kind of and lost his legs, unfortunately. And he had a really awesome story, man. So we kind of blessed him to be on the show.
Thank you.
He was on Kings 5. I know he was on a lot of local channels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, where do you kind of want to start, with the story? Like, do you want to kind of start with the accident?
Yeah, I'll start a little bit about that.
Okay.
So, before I get into like the accident, I've been in 3 accidents, and this is my 3rd one. But so what happened was September 17th, 2015. I was riding my motorcycle, and I was on my way going to USAA. My cousin came over, and we was just gonna go get some money, do a little something. So as we were riding, it was on a Thursday around like 1:30 p.m. and just cruising down. And when we came up to 1604 in Wiseman, I had the green light, and I noticed that as I was approaching the green light, I noticed on the other side there was a truck, and it was a girl. She was texting and driving. Supposedly, she was texting and driving, and I saw that she started to cut all the lanes. There's 4 lanes where I was at. So in my head, I was thinking, all right, let me just go to the right side. She's probably gonna correct herself. We'll be okay. That didn't happen. Therefore, everything just happened so fast. But like as soon as I hit her, like I knew that this is probably gonna be the end of my life. And yeah, so going 65, I hit her. I had a helmet on. Me and the bike, as I was told, laid on the floor, and I was spinning on the floor like a helicopter. I hit a sidewalk that knocked off my helmet. I had a whole bunch of dreads, so um, good thing for that. I didn't have no brain trauma, anything like that. So as soon as I hit the sign that knocked off my legs, my body started spinning the opposite side, and I ended up falling into a ditch. And then the part that I remember was there's this guy named Ty, and he clearly saw everything happen, and he got out of his vehicle. He was the first one to go, make sure I was all right. So he ran to me, went ahead and flipped me over, and that's when I was able to see like the sky, and I was able to feel like I was finally able to breathe. And that's when I kind of tried to sit up, and everybody was like, nah, stay down, stay down. And I looked at my legs. I clearly saw that I didn't have my legs in front of me. I just saw a lot of blood and guts. And then I looked at my left arm, and obviously I got a plate in here and a plate in my hand, shattered my whole left arm. And then on my right side, I had 3rd-degree burns all on my arm down to like my ribs and my back. So instantly, there was a cop, by the way, too. He got a reward because he was retired and he had PTSD. He was going through trauma. I'm not too sure of what, but he said that when he saw me, because there were still some cars like just driving by. They were just passing me up, and I'm just sitting there bleeding out, and he knew that I needed help. So the first thing he did was like, as we're waiting for a tourniquet, he went to go get a belt. And yeah, man, it's just crazy. Good thing for him, because if he wasn't there, I probably would have, been dead for good. And he came down, helped me out. Instantly, I was already screaming from my foot. As soon as he put the belt on my left leg, I was screaming from my foot. So automatically, I was having phantom pains. And phantom pains is where you actually feel pain, where you don't have your limbs. And then the phantom sensation is like where, I can feel my pulse in my foot. I think a lot of it has to do with the way that I used to be, and I used to catch a lot of cramps in my calf muscles. So there would be times where I'll actually feel like my calves are like cramping up on me. It's weird because it ain't there, but it happens. So, so after that, we was waiting. The ambulance came and stuff. And we were waiting for the air support to come. I don't really remember how they got me like out of the ditch. But I remember they had asked me when they put me in the EMS, what's your name? I said Aaron Beaugard, and then that's when I ended up passing out. So the air support came, and they, they picked me up and stuff, and I wasn't holding any blood pressure 60 over 30, gained 23 pounds from being swollen. So it was tough, and by the time I got to the hospital, I was pronounced dead, and then my surgeon and everybody else, rushed me to the OR, worked on me, and with God and 3 days of life support, here I am today, and it's a blessing, and it's cool, man, because a couple days later, one of the airmen actually came back to my room and was talking to my mom's, and was telling her, like, that I was actually in the helicopter, like, making them giggle and laugh and stuff. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like, I'm over here, dying, and I can still make other people, smile and laugh. So it just kind of shows you what kind of spirit that I have, you know what I mean? And so that's pretty much like that happened, like, that day that I remember. And yeah, man, it just happened so fast. And, I never had, like, nightmares about it. I never lost sleep from it. I would pass even to this day, I still pass, going to work, and I always pass the site, that changed my life. But even to this day, like, I don't feel not one bit of it.
It doesn't like, cause man, I didn't get in a wreck and half, but like, not even compared nothing to yours. It was on rolling, 10 and rolling, kind of like, it's on the east side, kind of like over by, Warburg.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that, like, wow, like you get kind of trip out that you had an accident there, but you didn't get that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, didn't get that at all, bro. Like, and I mean, I've been through a lot of wrecks, even through cars and stuff, but like, yeah, I mean, I ain't really think of it like that. It's just, it's kind of just happened so fast. But
What, like, I guess, what did you do? Like, what was your thoughts, like, when you got in that wreck? Like, when you got in the wreck, and kind of like, what did you feel like, when you got out the hospital? Like, what was your first move, like, when you first got out the hospital? Like,
the first thing I did when I got out the hospital, I went to Babes. It's a burger joint, and I went there and I ate, and after that, I went home and saw a lot of people, a lot of close friends and stuff like that would come by and come check up on me and stuff. But yeah, it was still very tough, man, just because I left the hospital kind of early just because, I showed them that, I'm strong, I could recover pretty quickly, but still, like, mentally and physically, I was still feeling, like, a lot of pain. I'm still going through a lot. But yeah, man, it's just, the whole just thinking process was just mind blowing because, like, I had to keep thinking, like, this is my life. Like, I used to wake up, like, hoping it's a nightmare, you know what I mean? But it never was. And so yeah, so it even to this day, it's still all just a mental thing. And sometimes I would still sit there and think to myself, even 5 years later, like, wow, like, I'm still like this. You know what I mean? I think it might just be something that's always going to stick to me, but I just don't let it, like, break me.
right,
Instead of let it make me. So.
right. Cause I noticed you was on, like, Kim 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of led to that?
So first, I was on Fox News.
Okay,
And I was on Fox News, and so I was on Fox News actually when I was still at the hospital. Like, they actually came, like, to the hospital, and we had went outside the hospital, and we had did the interview there, and that was my first interview with them. And then just explaining to what's going on, how I'm looking, my mindset. So then a year later, they ended up doing like a follow up on me, and by that time, I already had these legs, and I also had my running legs. So it definitely that definitely helped me reach out. But then it came down to, like, my surgeon. He knew about. I guess he kind of knew some people from, like, Kim's 5, so we was kind of able to work that out too and stuff. So it so that's how that led. But the Kim's 5 part was like maybe like in 2018 maybe. So it was a couple years later. So that kind of came through like a little later. But that was actually a really good experience. Honestly, the Ken Spy part was really good.
So the Ken 5 was after Duville, like after you had,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that was deep, man, because it was like, you was at like every game, you came to practices, and you was on the sideline with us, man. That meant a lot. That meant a lot. Um,
I still remember like when it was like in November, I think like November 12th, or it was like something like that. And I remember I went out there. I think it was like for the first time I had went out there. And yeah, bro, like everybody was just showing me so much love, bro. And it just felt so good just to get like everybody there. And we had took a big picture. And yeah, bro, it's really good just to get a whole group of guys that may not know much about you, but they know you got a heart, and they see you as a brother. So definitely having y'all there was a good support system. Also, with me loving football, also, and being able to live it through y'all. So that was definitely.
but see, man, like you was so positive, man, and it was just like, 'cause I know, being your Facebook friend, I know you had your days, which we all do, but you was so positive, man, and you was so uplifting. And, I remember, like I told you, like my mom had a stroke before that, and she would always look forward to seeing you, because she was like, man, he just he had a beautiful attitude, and she would always look forward to seeing you. And I thought that was cool,
Most definitely.
Because it was like y'all had went through something that was life changing, and it was kind of like y'all was helping each other out. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, man, and that's what it's all about. And like, there's probably many people that I inspire. It's just a lot of people don't know how to speak out, or a lot of people don't know how to say something about it. But the people that do, it helps me out with the feedback because it reminds me of like why I'm here. You know what I mean? So for the people that do speak out, I do highly appreciate it. And the people that don't, I just hope that I still impact them the same way. They just may be a little nervous and scared to approach me like that. So
I just think that I think a lot of people. I think a lot of times it's better just to say what you got to say. I think a lot of people is more concerned what not to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like as long as you're respectful to somebody, that's better than you like going around.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, and of course I go through a lot of times where people do make fun of me and all that stuff, it's always good to get those types of experience because life isn't just always going to be so beautiful and all that. You're going to have the dark and evil side every once in a while. So like definitely going through things, especially at my lowest when everything was still fresh. Like I said, it would make me cry. I would feel like I don't have a lot of words. It's just crazy, man. But I started to think of it more and more, and the more and more it started to happen to me, the more and more I started to realize that it wasn't me with the problem. It was actually them with the problem. You know what I mean? And like, that's what people everything's a mind game in life. It honestly is. Like, the mind will mess you up if you allow it to mess you up. And I've been through those. Like, I've been depressed. And back in April of 2016, not even a year after my accident, I went to the hospital because I had alcohol poisoning. I was taking 3,600 milligrams of gabapentin, and that's the nerve pills. So I was taking that, and then I remember that day I was so depressed, and I didn't eat nothing. I was taking medicine, and my friend was like, I'm about to go home and drink, and I was like, well, can I go with you? He was like, yeah. So we just went up the street, and I just remember we was drinking Grey Goose, just right out the bottle, and I woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, man, like throwing up and I was having the chills, I was feeling high, like I was going through so many different like just symptoms. It was crazy. And then we went to over there at BAMC, we went to the ER, and I just remember it was just to the point where like I just kept throwing up, and they put me in the ER. And what really made me a new person that time was that the next day the doctor came in and was like, "Son, I don't even know how I'm speaking to you right now. He said you shouldn't be here." He said you had no fluids in your body. You was looking real bad. Like you was getting ready to give up. Like I shouldn't be talking to you right now. And like that made me realize, like, bro, God keeps giving me chances, bro. Like I'm here for a reason, you know.
So you had like 2 life endangering experiences.
Ever since my accident.
Right. So you had the accident, and then you had the alcohol poisoning.
Mixed with the medicine and stuff.
What was that intentional? The alcohol poisoning?
Nah, I mean, I was just very depressed and I wasn't pressured and I just, I didn't really know how much I was gonna drink, but I mean, just being depressed, you kind of just like go with the flow, you know? Yeah.
So you kind of just drank and feel better.
Pretty much, like, I didn't feel like I had much to live for and stuff like that, so I felt like nobody knew my pain. I felt like I was alone, out in this world full of, people that are, not really like me and stuff. So it was definitely, messing with my mind a lot too.
How did you find did you find support out there to do, or you just kind of just figure it out on your own, or was there other?
Yeah, man. I mean, my whole experience itself, bro. Of course, I had a lot of support, but when it comes down to like getting things done, like I had to like adjust to everything. You know what I mean? To the point of how I get around with or without legs. How I'm taking care of myself, do what I gotta do. Like, of course, they were there at first, to like, wipe my butt and stuff like that for the first times that I couldn't do it and all that. But like when it came down to me doing everything I gotta do, get dressed, get off my bed, find the way how to get in and out the toilet. In and out the bathtub, all kinds of things, bro. Going up and downstairs, I had to teach myself certain positions, certain things. So like right now, bro, I can take off my legs and I can go up and down these stairs within seconds, bro. Just because I'm fast and like I know my position. But I had to learn all these things. People didn't tell me, all right, son, you got to do this and do that to get it done. Like I had to do it myself. So like the support system was there, but actually learning how to do things, sometimes it did get frustrating. It did hurt. And, certain people aren't always there to kind of help you in that way that I needed to be helped. But I just mentally knew that I needed to get things done, myself. So.
Do you feel like this newfound independence helped you learn people a little more? Like when they say I'm here for you, but they're really like, you feel like people are actually stood by their word, or do you feel like some are just like they're speaking just to kind of like make themselves feel better, make you feel better, but not really there?
Yeah, I feel like honestly, from the amount, because like what I was told for like the first 3 days, because I was on 3 days of life support, so for like the first 3 days, the whole hospital was like filled up. Like people couldn't even fit in the waiting rooms no more. Like I had so much support, but genuinely, like everybody that would tell me certain things, I knew at heart like they meant it. You know what I mean? Like even to this day, like I know when people tell me things, or like when my family's happy because I'm out here working, like I could tell like they are actually just happy for me. So like throughout the years, of course, people sometimes say things just to say things because it sounds good or they want to fit in. But for the most part, I know if it's coming from the heart. You know what I mean? And for the most part, through my journey, everybody that really has been there has shown me that true love. So it definitely helps out.
So what was your biggest accomplishment? Because man, I just thought that was dope how you came out to all games. But what was your biggest accomplishment, like since you got out of the hospital till now?
Honestly, easy one. 2018 in April, World Star on Instagram. At that point in time, they had 18 million followers, and they saw my videos and they wanted to post me. And the biggest accomplishment was because one day I just thought out of nowhere, like, let me do something crazy. So within a few hours, my cousin lived right across the street, and he was my video man. He always did videos for me. So like I was like, all right, bro, we just want to try something. So my E-Class Benz that I used to have, it had its own towing kit, and so we put the towing kit in the front, and we have a cul-de-sac where I live, and we had my car parked right here. And the front bumper was where I had the attachment. I called up one of my boys, and he had a belt, like a squatting belt, had that, and he had a rope. So just brainstorming, I was like, I want to test the waters. Like that's one thing about me. Like I want to do the impossible. So what we did was we put my car right there. We put it in neutral. It was sitting good, and you just see me in the front, and you just see me just sitting down, like facing the car, and I'm just using my arms, just going back, and you just see me little by little pulling it, and I'm not gonna lie, when I got done, I never felt so drained in my life, but I never felt so accomplished in my life. I didn't know if I could do it. And of course, people are making fun of me, like, oh, that's probably how he lost his legs in the first place. The car probably ran him over, like, all kinds of stupid stuff, but, and of course, people are gonna be like, well, it's fake, this and that, but at the end of the day, like, I knew that I gave my all, and I made it happen, and that's all that mattered. And next thing you know, like I got posted and it got 2 million views, and I gained like 4,000 followers, and it was really nice just to inspire so many people. And then they posted another video of me cutting my grass. I was cutting my grass with my legs on, and so I don't know, bro. I just try to think of just crazy things sometimes, just like, all right, bro, let's try it, and I really did it. I really did.
So basically, you got in front of the car. You basically drove the car? Wow.
Yes, sir.
So, is your upper body a little bit stronger now since the accident?
Oh yeah, nah, my upper body is definitely way stronger now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like y'all. See, like I'm just really on the floor, like, really just pushing. I know the camera can't see, maybe y'all can fit that in later or something, but like, I'm just really out there, like, just pulling my car, so,
Wow.
So, yeah, bro, and of course, it messed up my hands, the floor was hot and all that, but my main objective was just to make sure that when people saw this, they knew that no matter what you are, what you look like. And I was actually inspired by another guy. He actually has a gym in Houston, and his name is Pitbull Raul. And he doesn't have legs, but he was born that way. And he's a big, massive dude, works out and everything. But I saw him pulling a truck, and that's what gave me like the inspiration. Like, shoot, maybe I should try it too. And I did, and that Benz is 3,500 pounds. So it felt good, bro. But I just really wanted to show people that, hey, sometimes things might seem like it ain't gonna happen, but if you put your mind to it and try it, it possibly could happen. So.
And what motivated you? You just like.
Well, I'm a type of guy, bro. I got energy, and I could do energy like this. Like I could just be chilling, and be like, all right, let's go. Like I'm ready. And that's just kind of what it was that day. I just kind of felt like I wanted to do something, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, but it kind of was just coming slowly. I was just like, what can I do that might shock the world? And it's crazy because in 2018. My PS4 broke, and I went back to my PS3, and I was playing Call of Duty Zombies, and this dude from Florida, he was talking to me, and I was explaining to him about the video, but the whole time, he saw the video already, but he didn't know that he's actually playing with the guy that was actually in the video, which was me. So it blew his mind when I'm talking about it. I'm like, bro, that's me you're talking about. Oh, wow, so like, actually a lot of people from even like overseas and stuff, like people be seeing like these videos, bro, and it's just cool, you know what I mean? Like to really just touch somebody. One of my subscribers, he said the other day his mom, she was asking who he's playing with, and he's like, well, I'm playing with a YouTuber, and she was like, who? And she showed him. She was like, oh yeah, I seen that video a couple years ago. Like, so it's really cool, man, to really just just inspire people that the world is small sometimes, bro.
So like, did you think like? Can 5 kind of got you on World Star, or they kind of two different?
Yeah, I actually got on World Star first. And the cool thing about Ken's 5 was like, Ken's 5 actually took a lot of my personal clips. Like they actually, so like when Ken's 5 was playing, like it showed little clips of me pulling it. It showed me cutting the grass. It showed me doing handstands. It showed me going up and down the stairs. Like they actually was putting like real clips in there. So I thought that was pretty cool too. You know, I just told them, find what y'all want and y'all can use them. And they did their own edits and it came out really, really smooth.
So what's been your day to day life since you had the accident last year? Like what changed? How did your daily routine change?
So like for me, I lost my legs at 22, and then I went to rehab over there at the CFI with the Wounded Warriors. I went there in November, and I had Tri-Care insurance until I was 26, and as soon as I hit 26, I had lost my insurance. But so for those good like 3 years, pretty much just Monday through Friday, I was my dad had worked right next to the place that I went to, so he always took me to the CFI, and Monday through Friday, yeah, just go there for a couple hours. Of course, I had to go through, you know, all kinds of things to be able to get to the level that I'm at now. I had different type of legs. I had to start at the very, very lowest because they want you to get like a good center of gravity balance, you know. So I started off with legs that were like this, but I had like a little nub right here to stand on. So like I was like short walking around, so I can kind of get used to things. Then passed some tests, and then little by little I was getting different legs that just raised up a little bit more. And now I'm to the point where I'm my old height now, which is 5'8". So um, so that was that journey. And then like when I first got these in 2016, man, it was a mind changing, just mind blowing, everything type of moment. I remember when I first put these legs on ever, I was standing up on these bars and I put them on, and when I stood up, I felt like I was like 7 foot tall, bro. You know, because when you so short and then you just go up there, you be feeling tall. And like I look down, I see my shoes, and it legitimately felt like, damn, I got some legs. You know, like it's crazy, man. So definitely a wild journey, man. After rehab, it just kind of came down to like what I wanted to do, and it was just pretty much just, you know, like play the game, do some YouTube and stuff. Didn't really have nothing like going too good for me. I was making some music and stuff like that, but never really like doing things that were really gonna like benefit me later on in life. Until just recently, which is in September, I went ahead and stepped up and hit up my old job and still have my old boss there, and they let me in, and you know, just starting a new journey now, which is, you know, making money and just inspiring people and motivating people. So just I work little by little, you know, it went from like 2 days to like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and now your boy's working Monday through Friday. I do my job by myself. I don't work with people. So, you know, everything that I make goes straight to me. So I'm just out here just grinding out Monday through Friday, get my weekends off to be able to relax.
So, how does it feel to be back like in the workforce? Like, what were some obstacles you had at first, and what were some obstacles you had to overcome to kind of be like a regular, be an employee again?
Yeah, my biggest thing was just like, am I going to fit into society? Am I going to be looked at differently? Am I going to be looked at the same? You know, am I going to be looked down on? Am I going to be doubted on? And just also trying to compare myself to the way that I used to work to the way that I am now. So I was, you know, procrastinating a lot. I would just tell myself I should do something, and you know, I just never did it. So when I finally did it, and I told myself too, like, okay, you know, I'll hit up my manager later, you know, and I was just like, you know what, I'll do it right now. And I did it. And when you really put energy into something, you're most likely going to get that energy back. And everything just happened so smoothly. And then so the next thing was just, will I be able to perform well? will I be able to hold my own weight? Will I need assistance? Will I need some help? So I think those are things that were replaying in my head. But as I was there talking to my managers and everything, I started to calm down more. I started to feel more at home and just knowing that okay, they are here to help me out. They're here to work with me, and they do. I got my own chair so I can sit down. I got my own fan because they know I get hot really bad because I do burn over 300% of energy than just the normal folk, the normal people that will burn. So I'm constantly sweating. I put my legs on. By the time I get to the car, I'm already sweating.
Wow.
That's just the way it be, man. So that was just one of my biggest concerns is like, can Aaron still do the same job that he used to do? And to be honest, now that I'm doing it, I feel like I even do it better.
Wow.
So.
So I know that, when we first met, in Duville, you had the
Those
shoulder.
they're like the little stiff ones, not the small ones. Yeah.
What can you kind of explain to us or share with us, like, how did that evolution kind of feel, or how what's the difference between when we first met versus the legs now? And you have because I know at first you couldn't put shoes on them, right? Okay. Now these you can put shoes on them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you go out looking for shoes, like, it's like, I'm gonna get these J's, or is it kind of like, well, what's the process now?
Yeah, so with me now, with having a rubber foot, I'm flat footed now.
Okay.
So I gotta look for shoes that are like not too soft because I gotta be able to like feel the stiffness when I walk because I've had shoes in the past that were more soft, like some like soft Nike shoes, and like it makes it harder because when I step, sometimes I'm not actually feeling what I'm stepping on. Kind of feel like I'm kind of floating, which is bad. Like I need to make sure that I'm feeling the vibrations when I'm stepping on the floor, and I know, just like when I came up the stairs, or not coming up the stairs but before, and I was on those rocks.
Right.
The rocks, kind of make it a little unbalanced too. Because everything with these legs, with the mechanical knees, everything is just weight adjustment. So like when I walk, it's all weight shifting. That's how the knees break. If I don't weight shift properly, the knees will lock on me. So it's all weight shifting. So like everything's in the heels. So the legs in the past that like you see me have,
right,
those were a lot easier because obviously when you're gonna have knee ball joints, things that move, obviously it's gonna be harder to walk and you have to use more energy and stuff like that. So when I came to these legs, then my other legs, I noticed that okay, wow, these are a lot heavier. They do move a lot different. I intend to fall a little more with these ones just because they're just not stiff. Like I'm actually able to move if I weight shift wrong. Sometimes it still happens. Like I fell at work. And it wasn't my fault. But what happened was I was walking and I walked right past the server and she stepped to her left and it hit my right foot and I just went falling. Of course, I get right back up. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're good." And I just tell people, it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you rise.
Right.
And so falling, dust the shoulder off, and you keep it moving. So, definitely the journey has been a lot different. But with having these legs, it definitely opened up like the limitation that I did have with the other legs. So with the other legs, I wouldn't be able to drive or be able to move around as good. But with these ones, I'm more mobile. I could drive. I could do things. So definitely the evolution of it is just it's crazy. It's a whole 360 now. So
you're saying you're gonna get some new legs?
Yeah, man. So I finally went ahead and stepped up and been just trying to take care of like some responsibilities and with me working, and if I wouldn't have got a job, maybe I wouldn't have been on this journey of getting new legs. But the fact that I have to put on these legs 5 times a week, I do have problems with my right leg with it getting swollen. I do have a lot of broken bones. It's called heterotrophic. The O word is really big, but they shorten it for HO. That's extra bone growth around the femur. You get it through trauma. A lot of people get it through trauma. So when you look at X-rays, it just looks like fog around my femur, and that's just the extra bone growth. I actually broke them in the process of like going through different legs. So now I just have pieces of bone just kind of floating. So as I walk, sometimes it grinds, it pops. It's weird, but they have. That's why I need to get refitted because they have certain ways to mess with the cast itself. So I won't have these certain problems, or I won't have certain pressure points. And so with me getting this job, I had to do some research, and I found this older couple, and they're my regulars now at my job. And I call her Mama Sherry, and his name, the husband name is Vince, and he knows about prosthetics, so he's the one that kind of put me in that direction. And yeah, I found this guy. His name is Anthony. He knows a lot about the legs. He's the one that told me that these are for the military combat people that go to war. So what we're gonna do now is that there's a client that he already has, and she already has one of these new legs. And what it's gonna do is it's lightweight. So I'll be able to save more energy when I walk. And what's gonna happen is the upper leg is gonna communicate with the foot. So as I walk, my foot will be able to bend with me. When I sit down, my feet won't be up in the air. They'll be able to go down. So it'll just make it feel a little bit more, human and stuff like that. So that's the next process. It's still waiting for Medicare to, approve it and stuff. But that's definitely going to be the next step is getting these new legs. So I'll be able to do my daily job and, with more comfort.
Being with Medicare, is it a pain? Is it more of a pain dealing with them trying to get your insurance and health things taken care of, or is it kind of a smooth ride?
So far, I guess this is my first true time actually dealing with Medicare in this type of way. As far as I know, as he told me, Medicare is actually really good with people in my type of situations. If it comes down to repairing the legs, or if I lose them, they can replace them, the accessories that I need for my legs, all kinds of things. He said they're really good at. But as far as like the approval goes, it's been a little while, and I do need to make a call. But I think it's still, I gotta harass them a little bit and push their buttons with it being a new year and stuff like that. But for the most part, I heard good things about Medicare, and they're really pretty fast on things. So once I get approved, then we should be rolling from there.
How often do you get new legs?
So the new leg process, I think he said, is like every few years, like 3-4 years, something like that. I'm able to get some new legs, but throughout those years, I'm still able to fix my legs if they break or something like that. But like to get like new legs through Medicare, yeah, I think it's just a couple years. Accessories like my liners that I put over my legs, and I have shrinkers, or pretty much like socks I put over my legs for the compression. Like those type of things I can renew every 6 months. But when it comes down to the actual legs, yeah, it's like every like 4 years or something like that. So
How do you feel when you get new legs?
it's been a long time, but I mean, like I said, when I first got these new legs, I felt, I felt so great. I can't really explain the feeling. It's just, it felt like, all right, this is gonna help me out, because I used to think when I first lost my legs, like, how is life gonna be? Am I gonna be able to walk? Am I gonna be able to drive? And now look at me, I'm walking, I'm driving, I'm shopping. I do things on my own. I don't need somebody there to hold my hand, to help me in and out the car. Like, even me, like I'm real independent. Even in my wheelchair, like I can get on the floor and put my wheelchair in my truck, shut my truck, get into, like, I can do all kinds of things. Like it's really amazing, how you can adjust and just go through just different obstacles, man, and not even really think about it like that. But and then I'm still in contact with a surgeon, and he's actually really big on YouTube. He got like 300 and something thousand subscribers. He's actually really big, and he actually came to my house one time to also do kind of like something like this, and it was really nice too to kind of just catch people up on things, and was like telling his side of the story, and he was just saying how, he just saw me, coming into the hospital. He obviously knew I needed help. I was in really, really bad conditions. And just seeing his side of view, and he's also an author, and he wrote a book, Overcoming the Odds. And he had gave me that book, and we took a picture back when I was in the hospital, all wrapped up and stuff. We took a picture, and then we took a picture again, when I had legs standing strong and all that. And at the Kins 5 he was actually there with me, so he actually had the interview with me at Kins 5. And the Kins 5 was really cool because they actually took me into like the operations, like where everything happens, and I was able to be in the green screen and just see everything happen. And I thought that was pretty awesome too.
So do you feel like you're an advocate for others with disabilities going through the same thing?
Most definitely. So like, I ran into a lot of people, especially like on my social medias. I ran through a lot of people that lost their legs, and you had mentioned your cousin,
Right?
Okay, so I met a lot of people like your cousin, that may be depressed or don't really like to step out and stuff like that, and it hurts because a lot of these people will come to me and message me, and they'll be telling me how I'm changing their life, how I'm changing their aspect, and how they see things, and like it makes me feel better because I'm like, wow, like y'all been like this longer than what I have, and like they still come to me and like they try to seek answers and comfort from me, and it feels good that from the things that I post, to the things that I say, to the videos, just everything just showing like, man, this guy is still out here smiling, this guy is still out here working, like why am I so sad? So yeah, man, from people with their hands off, lost their foot, their legs. Like I talked to so many people from Scotland, England, Chile. I have so many just people all over the world that will come to me and just ask me questions, and it just feels good because, like I said, like wow, I'm new to this, and y'all kind of been exposed to this already, but yet like y'all come to me for answers. So I feel like it's pretty dope, pretty dope. I love it.
Where do you feel like most of your strength came from?
It came from just the person I was like growing up, even to the point now. I just always had a lot of pride. I was always a daredevil. I was always a fighter. Like I was just always out there. So when it came down to my new lifestyle, that stuff was still in me. Like I had always thought of life like, all right, Aaron, I'm a running back. That's what I was in high school. I'm a running back. So I put life in that perspective, and I was like, as a running back, what do you want to do? You want to gain yards. You want to get a touchdown. So what I want to do is every day I want to at least try to gain some type of yards, because eventually you're gonna get that first down, and those first downs eventually gonna turn into a touchdown. Right. You don't want to lose yards. You don't want to you don't want to be in the end zone, no touchback. So I had to put that into life, and that kind of helped me out because I know my drive, I know my pride, and obviously having too much pride, which is like breaking my legs. Too much pride sometimes is kind of bad because when I had got my little legs, I was told not to be walking so much, but I wanted to walk, and I just took 4 steps, and on that 4th step, I felt a crack, and I broke some pieces of bone in my. It's just a pride, So that's another setback that I had for a while. And the things with legs is like I had to stay active. Everything is muscle memory. So if I'm not walking or if I'm not using my legs, I most likely will probably not fit in my legs. And if I do fit in my legs, I'm going to feel discombobulated. I'm not going to feel like, I'm going to be, nah. So it's crazy. In my head, I could tell myself how to walk, but when I put on my legs and I haven't walked in a long time, which I have in the past, yeah, you definitely feel like you're at a place like, whoa, okay, I'm not used to this again. But then just a few steps into it, it kind of comes back quick, you know what I mean? But you just got to stay on top of it because you really don't want to be out of your socket, you know what I mean? If you eat too much salt or stuff like that, that can, blow up your leg a little bit. So I have to make sure that, I'm eating good, I'm using my legs a lot, stay healthy, work out a little bit. So you definitely don't want to, you don't want to lose that.
So when you say you work out, what's your typical workout, and can you run in your legs, or can you run in the next leg you're gonna receive?
So if I would have stayed at the CFI a little longer, they were gonna eventually teach me like kind of how to run with these legs, but even though they're not running legs, I actually do have the running legs. They're sponsored by Nike. It's the Blade ones.
Okay.
I actually have those, but I need to get new sockets. So once I get fitted for new sockets, I can be able to put on those running legs again to be able to do that. So with the new legs, I'm pretty sure too. Maybe they'll probably teach me how to run too and stuff. Not too sure on how, like the footworks and stuff like that, but I definitely want to get back into running. The exercise part. At first, I was real heavy into CrossFit, and I was doing a lot of CrossFit, but it's a lot of jerking and stuff like that. I still have like problems with my wrist and certain things like that. So after a while, this CrossFit I just felt like was a little too extreme for me, especially at that point in time, with still being fresh with my injuries and stuff. So it just came down to just natural things, being in my wheelchair, going up and down hills, going all over my neighborhood for hours, just getting that natural buildup because when I'm in my legs, I'm already getting that burnout. So for the upper body, I'm just in my wheelchair, man, just going up and down hills, listening to music, um, just natural stuff, bro. And then of course being on the floor, picking myself up, those things also, help out with the upper body too. So I just try to balance everything out.
So you were saying you got running legs, the legs you got on, what are they called?
These are called Autobot. They're Autobot legs.
What's the difference between yeah? So basically, I guess when you go to work, you have you on your autobahn legs.
Yeah, which would be these. So these are just like pretty much just like my go-to, the only legs that I technically have and wear right now. My running legs and like my other small like little stubby legs, those don't fit me no more because those are from my old cast. So once I get fitted for my new cast, then I'll be able to wear those other legs. But for like a few years now, these have just been my only type of legs to put on and go. So this is pretty much just all that I really just know of.
What would be your message for others out there that are going through this type of newly type of lifestyle that may have an injury, such as the guy told us about with the fireworks in his hands, or
Yeah. So my thing is, like I said, it just comes down to the mind, and if I can like let anybody know, and if I could have told myself this when it happened to me, is just really just be patient. Just be patient because you know being like this, you intend to feel trapped. You feel like you can't do a lot of things, so it makes you want to rush into things. But honestly, all I gotta say is it don't matter where you're at, what you're doing. Just be patient with things. There's a lot of people that tell me like, oh, I can't walk yet, or I can't do this and that, and I just tell them just be patient because time will come. When you rush into things, anything in life, it don't matter what it is. Normally, when you rush, things don't happen the way it should happen. You know what I mean? So my biggest thing is just be confident, be strong. Still love yourself. At the end of the day, we all believe the same. We're all human. And it's just sad to really see the mindsets of other people that may not be as strong as me. So I'm definitely at heart just letting everybody know, even people that aren't necessarily going through what we go through. Just even on a normal basis, everybody has struggles, everybody has problems. So even for just the normal average person, like still, just love yourself, be thankful. I see life differently now. Now that I be waking up, seeing life differently makes you cherish it more. So my thing in life is just really be grateful for what you have, and don't think about too much of what you don't have.
So you said you have a podcast. You said you have a podcast. What is it? It's about gaming, right?
Oh yeah, I do live streaming on YouTube.
Live streaming. Okay. Okay. What You wanna give like a little plug for your podcast right now?
Yeah, man. I got 3,665 subscribers on YouTube. So if anybody wants to follow me on YouTube at Hood Star Superfly, that's where I got a PlayStation 5 and I got my little PS5 camera. So I be live streaming, interacting with my peoples. So I try to do that on a daily, and that's something that I love to do. And I definitely want to get bigger at it. I definitely do talk to a lot of bigger YouTubers that are in the game already. I made a name for myself throughout this little time that I've been grinding, and that's just something that I'm gonna continue to do. Now that I got a job, I noticed that I'm slowing down a bit on it, but it's just because I'm tired. I'm working harder. I'm actually doing something good for myself. It's cool because at the end of the day, people used to make fun of me all the time. Oh, you a grown ass man. You don't got no job. You don't got no life. Blah blah blah. So now, when I'm counting my money, I'm laughing at all my haters, bro. At the end of the day, just like before I came here, bro, I was just counting all my money. So like at the end of the day, it don't matter, bro. I'm really doing something good for myself, and that stuff on the side is just for fun. But I still do use that platform for encouragement, for motivation. It's awesome that my subscribers actually know who I am. So like when people come into my live streams, just being trolls and all that, they got my back. They know who I am. If people ask questions like, "Oh, what happened to him?" "Oh, he got in a motorcycle accident." So it's really cool to see that people actually take their time to and they actually look up to me, bro. Like, they actually love me, bro. And, like, it's cool. I'm just another guy out here. You know what I mean? But they love my legs. They know what they look like. I don't hide nothing from the people that look up to me. I can't hide nothing. This is who I am. It's who I'm always going to be. And I think that's one thing that people intend to do sometimes is hide certain things. You know what I mean? But what is there to hide? Like, I'm still, I feel like a beautiful person inside and out. You know what I mean? I may not look the same, but I think I'm still pretty damn cool.
I've seen some of your posts on Facebook too. They're pretty funny. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna repeat what I've seen on it, but I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. The first thing I said, man, for real?
Yeah, man.
I'm not gonna repeat what I saw there, but I was like, all right.
Yeah,
that's a little bit different.
I could be a little, yeah.
It was a little different. I was like, did we just say it?
You're a football player. You yeah, I can be a little out there. I got you.
About to run through that hole. If that ain't got.
Yeah, that ain't got, man. I got a block for you.
But one thing about me though, man, that everybody do like, even the people at my job, is that I have a good sense of humor.
Right.
I'll joke about things. At the end of the day, like, why would I take this serious? It ain't gonna do nothing for me, And I allow people to feel comfortable around me. You know what I mean? And like, I'm just myself, man. And like you said about the post, like, I've always been that funny type of guy, and I didn't want something like this to like truly change the person that I am. You know what I mean? I'm still very funny and all that. So I'm just very blessed that like mentally, physically, personality wise, like I'm still that same person that I was, in the past and throughout life. So I ain't really let this, really change the person that I am. So I think I'm pretty funny, little comedian. It's always good to laugh, bro.
So do you see yourself ever becoming like a comedian? Like actually going all the way into YouTube, going to college?
To be honest, I mean, I see myself, with working, it definitely takes up a lot of my time.
Right.
But like, I'm starting to get like some good exposures off of these pages, and like I think I still want to do music. I do. I just wrote me a song the other day. Haven't wrote in a long time, and I was like, hey, I still got it. But I want to be a motivational speaker, and it don't matter how. That's why I feel like I'm a public figure as I am, not just because of the news and all that, but the way that I see myself to Instagram, Facebook, to whatever. I feel like I'm still something out there that people, will look up to and stuff like that. So I just, yeah, I don't know, man. I could definitely, and YouTube too. I definitely want to get big on YouTube because the more people on any platform that I can get to, like they can get to know me, relate to me, whatever. The more and more that I have, I know the more I can give, and that's what it's all about, man. I don't need to just be on a stage just to talk. I can use these different platforms, live streaming, all that, just to also get my point across. So I take social media and all my platforms very serious because I truly just want to be able to change the lives that want to pay attention to me.
I'm gonna have to ask you. I didn't want to take over what you're doing. Your story is awesome. On Saturday, we're gonna do a show about what happened in DC. What are your thoughts about
I didn't even really get into that stuff to be honest, but like I just kind of was just reading things and what people were saying and like about Trump and all that. Like I don't really like know too much, and I haven't really seen like too many videos. I was kind of watching one video, but it was like I don't know, it didn't really catch my eye. But I think from what the guards, like the cops and stuff, I feel like they allowed it to happen, and what they say about it, if it was the black people doing it, they would have got shot, like, I definitely agree with that too. Just from, history, proves that, the black figure is going, be in more danger than, the other figures. So it definitely sucks, man. And like I said, I don't really know what happened too much, but at the end of the day, like, it sucks that it happened. And I want to learn more about it too. I want to know what happened and stuff like that too. But it's just crazy, bro. It just reminds you that like sometimes you're never safe. You know what I mean? For real, for real. Um, Life is just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, there's quite a few pictures up there depicting what happened, videos. It's kind of like White House Down. It's all of a sudden it's a reality, or Olympus has fallen, or the sequel to that was London has fallen. Somebody said, "Where the F is Gerard Butler?" Olympus has fallen, and I'm like, this is not funny, but it's kind of like in a sense it's not humorous, but it's kind of funny that they made a movie about this, and then all of a sudden years later it's literally coming to life. So.
And that's the thing that like a lot of people don't realize that these higher people they know what goes on in the world. They put a lot of realistic things, like you said, into movies, and they do it ahead of time because they know the outcome later on in life. Even like down to like that movie 2012, down to the movie San Andreas with The Rock. Like they know eventually all that stuff's gonna happen with the earthquakes and all. Like so they put things into movies and shows, bro, and people start to realize like The Simpsons. They predicted a lot of things. It's just because those hired people they know the cards that are being dealt. You know what I mean? We just don't know. We just see it and we're like, oh, but if you make little connections like that, you start to realize that, oh, they do put some, realistic stuff and meeting into certain things, you know what I mean? So it definitely sucks. I was told too that like supposedly Trump was already letting people know that January 6th they was going to do that or something like that. So I don't know, man. It's just we might be into another little war or something, who knows? But definitely something out there is going on.
Man, and I know this is another show. I'm not saying black people are dogs or nothing like that, but I'm not saying that. But basically, you know how when people I feel like we misunderstood.
Yeah, big facts.
So, I just feel like I have, like, for example, I have a pit bull, right? And my dog, it looks real intimidating, but what he wants to do is come over to you and lick you and jump on you. That's what he wanted to do. And people just feel like people. I seen people like I'll be right there with my dog. And I seen people like get a stick and try to hit my dog. I'm like, for real? And I'm right here. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like with black people, man, we're misunderstood. And I'm just like,
That's a good word.
we're misunderstood. And just like, we can be one of the coolest people, you know, and I feel kind of like relating to the pit bull is like, everybody like the way they look. They like muscular, and they're athletic. Everybody likes that part. But when it gets to the part where, you know, hey, let's actually get to know them. No, you know, we heard this, we heard that, we heard this, we heard that, we heard this, and we misunderstood. Because instead of looking at that dog and saying, yeah, that dog wants to play with me. You know what I mean? That dog wants to be loved like any other dog. You can't.
Just judging.
Yeah, just judge. Yeah. And so I just looked at that and I was like, wow. You know, so they love us when we growl. They love us when we play basketball. They love us when we, you know, go out there.
But you're right, though.
Yeah.
And you know, they actually do use a lot of, like, black, you know, people to, you know, do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but as soon as it comes down to certain things that will cops or something like that, like, oh, we're the bad guys, we're the target, but they out here loving the music, they're out here loving the clothes, the, you know, everything else. But when it comes down to like crime, drama, something like that, then it's just like we the bad guys, you know.
I love the idea of being black, but actually being black is a whole other story.
So they like, you know, the Megan Thee Stallion thing. They like, you know, LeBron James.
They love the black people in the spotlight, but as soon as it comes to something negative,
Right.
then it's like, oh, y'all are the worst people, or y'all all kinds of stuff.
You know, like today I have this I'm the East Side shirt. And I was in I like wearing it because that's where I'm from. And I was in you know, the East Side is real close to like Animal Heights. You know? Because it's like you just, you know, the Pearl. It's like the East Side of Pearl, and they kind of all come together at one point. And so I was over there, you know, by a post office, and it was on the 009 with Animal Heights. And so that was on Austin Highway, but it's like 009. And so basically, it was a dude that came up to me, and I'm just wearing the shirt, you know. And he came up to me, he said, you know, he do like this. I'm like, okay, well. And so he said, man, you from the East Side? I said, yeah. He was like, yeah, man, that's cool, you know, 'cause I've been over there in the ghetto. And we said the hood, I've been like, all right. And I said, well, sir, it's not really ghetto. You know what I mean? 'Cause it wasn't like, he said it's ghetto, like, oh, man, that's ghetto. You know, it was more like, well, y'all live in the ghetto, you know, like, come on, man, you know what I mean? And so then there was another guy that came in there, and he kind of said, oh, you the East Side? You the whole East Side? And I'm like, well, I wouldn't think so, but, you know, I kind of like the East Side. And so me and him just talked. We just talked and had a regular conversation. And he was an attorney, and we even exchanged numbers. Because I feel like he's seen me. He even came up to me and he was like, I told him I was a semi-pro coach. And he was like, hey, would you like to coach kids? I said, no. And I said, but I know somebody that would. He said, well, give me a have him call to school with him. You know, go here and do that. And it was cool. And, you know, we just got to one day look at each other as people. You know, when I said something on Facebook, I said, we just got to look at what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right, instead of looking at black is wrong and white is right. You know, that's what we got to learn.
Because at the end of the day, yeah, I feel the same way. Like, when it comes down to me, I don't see, I mean, I see color, obviously,
right.
But I don't see color. You know, when it comes down to me, I'm cool with anybody, but as soon as you cross that line of respect, then that's just why I'm not going to mess with you no more. But And that's the way I feel like it should be everything. And like for you, when you say, you know, what's wrong is wrong, what's right is right, I feel like it's always going to be messed up because no matter if we feel like something's right, I guarantee you that person going to feel like something wrong. So I feel like we always just, throughout life, even the next generations, even when we're not here, even in 3000, year 3000, I feel like no matter what, history's always going to be there to mess things up. It just sucks, man, but that's just the way. I mean, look at, you know, slavery and everything in the past, like, everything is still recycling from, you know, just little roots of hatred and, you know, all that stuff. And in general, they want us to be divided. They don't want us to be one. You know how strong we would be if we all became one? You know how many things and we could take over the government, all that, if we all just really came together as one. But instead, they divide us all, so we have less power. So we fighting other races are fighting us, they're keeping us separated. That's why, you know, they had Barack Obama and then they had Trump. They switched everything around so that racism can come back up with Trump. And it's just crazy how, you know, they play certain cards, man, and it's going to keep going down the road. And everybody's always just going to have this little type of hatred for somebody, you know, just because of a skin color. Or, hey, my mom don't like black people, so I guess I don't like black people. Like, so it's tough, man, but that's why with me, hey, you know, if you give me respect, I give you respect back. We cool. You cross that line, I'm just gonna go the other way.
So, do you have any other questions?
I don't really have any other questions. I mean, your story is really inspiring.
Thanks.
So there's times where, you know, I just like, I don't feel like doing this thing every day, you know, and for you to completely change your whole lifestyle, still have a positive attitude about it. It's like, what the hell am I complaining about?
And my thing is, I'm definitely not here to, and I tell that to a lot of people, I'm definitely not here to make y'all feel bad for the complaining. We are human beings. And like I said, just because we're not going through the same things, that does not mean that you still cannot complain about things. You know, but it's all about how you go about that complaint. Are you going to complain about it and not do nothing, or you just, sometimes you complain about it but still get it done. Like, for instance, I complained about wanting to go to work this morning. What did I do? I went to work and it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? So it's okay to complain. I just want people to know I could have complained. I could have cried. I could have hated the world. But literally, what would those things, how would that benefit me? Where would that put me? You know what I mean? So it's just all about just the mindset, man. And like, it's okay to complain. We all human. We all ache. We all go through anxiety, depression, all kinds of things. So it's okay to complain, but how are you going to go further after you're complaining? You know?
Well, you know what, Aaron, man? I don't know how I want to say this, man, but that year when I was playing for Duville, I know I didn't stay, but after that year, but that year I played for Duville, man, man, like, being part of your life, man.
Oh, I can tell, bro. Like, you was always there showing me mad love all the time, bro.
That was one of the most impressive things I ever seen somebody do. Because I often tell people, man, like, when you said, like, you would get back on a motorcycle, man, like, that was deep, man. Because I tell a lot of people, man, like, I had a friend and I couldn't get on the motorcycle, you know. But with you, it was like you really living life, man.
So like that's how my legs looked like right before they were getting ready to like, take out my stitchings and stuff like that. Like, you know, I look at all this stuff, bro, and like, you know, it just, it don't really be, you know, bothering me like that. You know, I have so many cool things, bro, that like I just have on my Instagram, to me doing flips in the water, swimming with no legs. Like, I be doing all kinds of things, bro. It's really
Then where were you at when you was climbing up
That stop sign?
Yeah, no.
It was Sam's Club.
Yeah, you was in
the stop
Sam's.
sign picture, yeah, or whatever. But
No, he was in Sam's Club. Oh, did you see that one?
Oh, that was you? I saw you say something.
Yeah. He was in Sam's Club and explain Sam's Club, man.
yeah, so I had went to Sam's Club with my cousin, and it's right there. and I'm just climbing all the way up to the top. So I went to Sam's Club, and like I said, I'm always just doing something crazy, and I just thought, hey, let me climb up these shelves, and I literally just started climbing up them damn shelves, and then climb my way right back down. You know what I mean? And like these are the running legs that I have and stuff, so I could be able to run with those. So it just feels like I'm on my tippy toes. That's one thing I like. But yeah, I mean I've done a lot of things. Fit my ass inside of a box. Bro, I be wild. But that's my surgeon right there, and that's when he came to my house and he did a little interview. So his name is Dr. Webb. That's my surgeon.
You have to. We gotta find a way to post that.
Yeah,
post all the stuff.
And that's why I said all this stuff's on my Instagram. So whatever y'all can find and edit and put, y'all can more than welcome to do. Oh look, Duville, as Gabe and Anthony. I'm in the middle. So those are one of my other little legs that I used to have. So yeah, we was really out there balling, man. I was really out there with these boys.
That's cool.
Old times, man. Great times, right?
Yeah, it was fun. Man.
So yeah, so I don't know if y'all have Instagram, but Hooe starts to pull out Instagram. Yeah. So if y'all want to find anything, y'all are more than welcome. I'm just blessed to be here and be able to just speak freely about what I go through. It helps me out, I never heard, as I told my story, but just getting the feedback, seeing how impressed and, y'all are, that's what I live for. So, it was definitely an honor and a pleasure to be here with y'all boys.
I appreciate you coming out, man, because you could have easily been like, nah, man, I got things to do.
And I was
going out there.
And, it was kind of one of those things, being 31 miles away, I was thinking too, I was laying down, kind of feeling tired, and I was just thinking should I cancel? But I was just like, nah, we already got everything set up, so I told you right now, I was like, nah, I'll be there. And I'm glad that I actually made it here, because it felt good. I would have missed out on a lot if I didn't come, so it's definitely a great opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, I really do appreciate you coming out here and
thank you, bro.
taking time to tell your story and inspire whoever sees this, including myself. Like I said, he says it's okay to complain, but do something about it. And I always had that kind of mindset, well, I complain about it, but look, am I going to do something about it, or am I just going to stand here, sit here?
There you go. And and I have a lot of people that even say that they talk about me a lot to other people. Y'all can always do that too, or even if y'all feel bad, y'all can always just think about me. If that makes you push harder, so definitely, I learned that I've learned a lot off of other people. Sometimes in life, it's not just learning from your own mistakes, but learning from others. And I'm very good with observing, and I listen. So I've learned a lot through other people's mistakes of what they went through, their life changing, and all kinds of things. So I think that's why when I talk to y'all probably think wow, this guy is really wise. To me, I feel like I'm wise too, but I chose to be that wise. I chose to be that mentally strong, because the mind can take you anywhere. It can take you down. It can take you up. It can make you. It can break you. And it was breaking me at first, but it definitely made me the person I am today.
You know what, Aaron? With my legs and everything, I still probably can't climb up. I know for a fact I'm gonna kill myself if I do that. But that was dope, man.
Appreciate it.
That was really dope, man. So, episode 20, and you always welcome to come back, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whenever, y'all want me here, even if y'all want to tell me ahead of time about a topic, something I could research, kind of know a little bit about, so we can, this isn't just got to be the first and last time, we do this or anything. So.
Definitely. We always try to get people to come back if they want, return.
It could be anything, sports or whatever y'all's topic is. Just kind of let me know. Who knows? People might like seeing, me around or something too.
Yeah. I mean, you got us on Facebook. You got me on the Facebook, definitely.
Yeah.
I know you're news right now, so.
And then whenever y'all, get this going and stuff, I'll help promote and try to get it out there too, and try to get y'all some more subs and stuff like that too. So we all just help each other.
Episode 26, man. It's gonna be what happened DC.
On Saturday.
I just call it State of the Union.
State of the Union, man. But closing this out, man. Aaron, you've been one of the most inspirational people I have ever met in person.
Appreciate it.
Because you never gave up. You was always positive. And it was real, man. And I always appreciated how you treated my mom. My mom would look forward to going to the game to see you. You know,
God bless him.
and that was cool, man. Because I felt like she at that time was going through something, and she it's kind of like I felt like y'all were both going through something. Y'all helped each other out.
That's what it's all about, brother.
And I so appreciate that. But episode 26, if you can come back, if you want to chime in, if you want to talk about State of the Union, you're more than welcome. But Ben, you want to kind of explain what we're going to do? State of the Union, man?
So State of the Union is basically about this events on January 6th, when the Trump supporters, so to speak, well, not so to speak, they're Trump supporters, stormed the state capitol in D.C., and we're just going to talk about the events of that, flags burning. From what I heard, one woman was shot, but apparently there was actually more deaths than we actually heard about after that's all said and done. And we're just going to talk about what happened, and that this is not a movie. This is real life. So we're going to have a couple of podcasters come over. Shout out to Dr. Black, Dr. Phil, Ray Pat, he might come on. Who's your boy? Aaron. Not.
I think.
There's another podcast.
Kendrick.
Kendrick.
BR. We're going to
BR. Kendrick BR is going to probably be coming through too. So we'll have a couple podcasters here while we're filming the show. Some might go live, so you might want to catch their live feed. But we always record it and then put it on YouTube. So everything you see here is going to be on YouTube or our page at YeahManThePodcast. We got our five-time All-Star Hall of Fame guard here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So put some respect on that man's name.
Yes, sir.
You got our All-Star running back over here, Mr. Aaron Beaugard. I said it right. Aaron Beaugard from the Brennan Bears.
Yeah.
And then you got me, Mr. Judson Rocket. I didn't play nothing, but hey, that's all right though. I'm still here, so I'm just gonna support the team. You know, you got me over here choking people out, tap, nap, snap. So, anyways, I have nothing else to say. Yeah. Y'all watch the show. We're glad you're out here supporting us. Aaron, thank you for coming.
Thank y'all for the opportunity, man. And
Yeah,
thank everybody else too, man. Appreciate everybody.
You want to go close it out?
Man, that's basically it, man. But just to say this, man, what tripped me out about that DC thing was I've been constantly just lifting people in. I was like, wow. I thought that was like some WWE stuff. I was like, wow. But basically, to in episode 25, I just want to say that humans are very strong, man. And whatever happens to you, you can use that as a positive or a negative. Mm-hmm. Aaron definitely used, his accident to make a very positive impact on others and, in his life. Because, that whole football team was inspired by his story. Yes. And that whole Duville thing was inspired by that story. And that was cool. So, yeah, man, anything you'd like to say, about your podcast, what's going on with you?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody. And if y'all want to check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Let's Start Superfly, YouTube, Let's Start Superfly, more than welcome to, when y'all see this and have more questions, want to hit me up, more than welcome to be in the inbox, and I got you. And I just hope that, every single day that you're awake, you thank God and be the best person you can be.
All right. Thank y'all for joining in. Like, subscribe, and share. And see y'all in episode 26.
See you.